Welcome to this video. In this video, I will be discussing regarding a problem in special relativity. It will be a simple problem that will help us understand how we make these transformations, the Lorentz transformation that relates different reference frames, and the idea of time dilation and length contraction. So, we will be discussing regarding muons, which are leptons, heavier family of electrons. So in our standard model we have quarks and we have leptons, and so the quarks, they are up quark, down quark, strange, charm, and top bottom, and so they belong to different generations. And in case of leptons, we have electron and the neutrino associated with the electron. Similarly, we have muon, the neutrino associated with muon, the particle that we will discuss, and we have tau particle and the neutrino associated with. So as we go from one generation to the other generation, we see that the mass increases. So now the main point is, so we can do a quick calculation of total number of particles that our standard model predicts. So we have 6 quarks, 2 belonging to each generation, and along with these 6 quarks, each quarks will have different colors. So we have R, G, B, red, green, and blue color. So there are 18 quarks and each of them will have an antiparticle. So it is 18 into 2, that is 36. And on this side we have leptons. We again have 6 of them, but they don't have any color. So we have 6 into 2 because of the antiparticles, and there is 12 of them. And apart from this, these particles interact via we have electromagnetic interaction brought about by your photon, which is a boson, and then we have W plus minus and Z boson that participates in weak interaction, and then we have the gluons, and there are 8 gluons and they participate in strong interaction. So in total we have from here 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and along with a Higgs particle we have 13 of them. So 13 plus 12 plus 36, so it is 61. So as per periodic table we are predicting 61 particles. So this was a small aside, but we will be discussing about special relativity. So we have a muon, and then this muon, it is not stable. So what it can do is it can undergo a decay, where a muon decays into, for example, an electron and anti-neutrino particle corresponding to the same electron, and then we have a neutrino that has muon. So in this interaction, in this kind of a decay, it is good to look at your the various numbers that are conserved. So you can see the lepton number or lepton flavor associated with electron, it is +1, and with this anti-neutrino of electron, it is -1, so the total is 0. And the lepton number associated with muon is +1, and that is also here +1. So each of the lepton numbers corresponding to different groups, so different families, that is electron, lepton number corresponding to muon, and lepton number corresponding to tau, they are individually conserved, and they are the symmetries, we can say. So suppose we have such a muon that is traveling towards Earth, and here we have Earth, and suppose this height is h, and now this muon will have a lifetime. It is a lifetime after which the muon will decay into this kind of electron and anti-neutrino neutrino combination. So let that lifetime be given as tau. And suppose the velocity, and this mu1, it has been created in the upper atmosphere and it is traveling vertically towards Earth with a velocity of v. So what will happen is that if the decay time is so small that it can't reach Earth, then we cannot detect muons. So we can have a detector here. So this detector cannot detect the muon if the lifetime is small, or if the muon is created at a very large height h. So we have to find the distance, the height, the minimum or the maximum height that where we can detect the muons, because at a very large height the muon will decay before coming to the detector, but there will be a maximum height up to which we can detect the muons properly. So that's the main setup, and muons will be traveling with velocity comparable to speed of light, and we cannot ignore special relativity in that case. So let's try to proceed. So here we have to first understand that we will try to analyze the problem in both the frames, in the frame of muon and in the frame of the Earth. So the first point is this height, the height where we are placing this height of the satellite, and the distance between the satellite surface and or the detector's surface and the atmosphere where the muon is created. This height is in Earth's frame. So it is given in Earth frame, and this lifetime of muon, it is in the frame of muon. So you see the two notions of time. The time is given in the muon's frame and the height is given in the Earth's frame. So we will first try to just quickly write the transformations that we will need. So a good way to write the transformations is always to remember, suppose we have two frames and x prime is moving with a velocity v, and x is with respect to x it is moving with this velocity. Then there will be a distance x prime and it will be traveling with a velocity of vt. So we write x equal to x prime plus vt, but this is just our Galilean transformation. To get our special relativity, we have to introduce our factor of gamma, and remember that x and x primes must be on one side together, and we get this kind of a thing. And similarly we can write t equal to t prime, but that is again only in Galilean transformation. So we put a same sign, v over c square, and then we have x prime and gamma. So these are our transformations, and from these we can also consider the inverse transformations. So now let's look at muon's frame. So let's try to analyze the problem in the muon's frame. So in the muon's frame, what we need to do is we are sitting with the muon, and we know that after a time of tau we will die. So after a time of tau we will be decayed, and so the point is, will we be able to reach Earth? So but in the muon's frame, you see, suppose this is the muon and you are sitting with the muon. In the muon's frame the Earth is traveling upward, because in the frame that you are sitting in, that frame is at rest with respect to you, and Earth is traveling with a velocity upward, and you have been given height he. So what you must do is, so the question that you must ask is, will Earth be able to reach me before it decays, before I decay? So for this, what we apply is this length contraction. So we can get it from this formula here, the Lorentz transformation. So you see, in length contraction, I take a I take a rod of length L and I sit in a train, and that train is traveling with a velocity of v, and I am not and then for me the length is the original length, the proper length L, but for a person outside, the way he will measure the length from outside is making a measurement at a simultaneous time delta t equal to 0. So that will be an important point, that the measurement of length will be made at delta t equal to 0. So what this means is that we will first use the inverse of this. So that means what we get is x minus vt times gamma equal to x prime, and x prime is equal to the length L, the proper length, and t, if you take the deltas everywhere, the t is delta t and that is 0. So we have gamma times x is equal to L. Okay, so what is L here? L here is the length that is in the moving frame, and here if you are in the muons frame, the moving frame is the earth. So what you write is He is equal to gamma times h in the muons frame. So this means in the according to the muon, the height is He by gamma. And now we know height in the muons frame and tau in the muons frame, that is just the decay rate. So what we get is h mu divided by just tau mu must be equal to the velocity for the muon to just reach the detector. So this means that we have a relation of let's see, so we have h, that is earth, by gamma times tau mu equal to v. So now what we will try to do is analyze the same question in Earth's frame. And we will see that we must get the same answer in whatever frame we are discussing. But the way to get this answer will be different. So in the Earth's frame, what we have is the height is given to us, but we are unaware of the decay time. So the decay time t is in muons frame, that is the proper time, and all we need to do is convert this to the time in Earth's frame. So now for the Earth the muon is moving. For the Earth the muon is moving. So what we do is we apply this time dilation fact, that what you are sitting in a train and you look at your clock. So the important point in time dilation is when you look at your clock, you are yourself not moving. So delta x prime is equal to 0, and with this condition you have to relate delta t prime with delta t. So that can be easily done by using this particular thing. So delta x prime, or let's look at this one. So delta x prime is 0, and delta t prime and t are related by gamma factor. So all you need to write is, well, let's look at it again. So delta t. So delta t is equal to gamma times delta t prime. So t prime is the moving frame, t is the rest frame. So here muon's frame is moving. So what we write is gamma times tau mu is the time in Earth. So now you know the height, so you write He by Te is equal to velocity, and you see we get the same result. And hence we have done a simple calculation of trying to see why the physics remains invariant in different kind of reference frames. So but in muon's frame what we applied was length contraction, but in Earth's frame what we applied was time dilation. So that's all for this video. Thank you.